Hello everyone, welcome back to Andrina's Creations. Today's tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to make your own ribbon trim tutu. They're very easy to do and I love the end result. You're going to see how easy you're going to do this. Now you do need to know a little bit of basic sewing. I never seen no one do them without a sewing machine, but it's very easy. You don't need to be no expert. Hey, I'm not even an expert myself, but you got this. I believe in you and I can't wait till you try it out. Look how beautiful it looks and look how fluffy they turn out. Alright, let's get started with the tutorial. Okay, so for the supplies, you're going to need your tool and the bolt. You can find tool and the bolt at any craft store, Joann's. You can find this on Amazon. You can find this at bbcrafts.com, Gifts International. There's so many websites that you can find tool on the bolt. You do need these, not the ones on the roll. You're also going to need your ribbon, a lot of yards of ribbon. I recommend getting 50 yards and up of ribbon. Also, you can find ribbon on Amazon. You can find them cheaper online. I'm not sure if there's any craft stores that do sell lots of yards of ribbon, but you can also find them at BB Crafts. I love that website, BB Crafts, for also lots of ribbon. And then from here, I also use my cutting mats. If you don't have one, that's perfectly fine. Just measure something in your house that is 1 yard so you can go by that. But I got this at Walmart. I think it was roughly around $30. And this is what I'm going to use to measure my tool. And also you're going to need sewing machine and matching ribbon for your matching thread for your ribbon. Sorry. So I'm using pink ribbon. So I'm going to be using pink thread, and then you also gonna need matching thread for your tool, if that makes any sense, but you'll see it after, and scissors of course. And I think that's it for now. And then I'm going to be doing a 4T tutu. So for 4T tutu, I need to cut 14 yards. I'll see if I attach a measurements down below in the description box. Just go ahead and check there. But again, for a 4T tutu, I'm going to be using 14 yards of tulle. Okay, so now I have my daughter in one end of the table, and then I don't spread it apart. I leave it exactly how it comes in the bolt. And then I am going to make her hold it at the end of the cutting mat. She's going to hold it at the end of the cutting mat. And I know that at the end of this cutting mat is 1 yard, because my mat is 36 inches, so that is 1 yard. So I know that right here at the end of mine, it's 1 yard. So what I will do is I will hold it right here, and then I will take it all the way to the beginning of the mat to my daughter, and I know that was 1 yard. And I'm going to continue to do that until I have 14 yards. So I'm done cutting the 14 yards. Well, done counting the 14 yards, and now I'm going to count. Now make sure that before you start cutting your tool, that you have your floor perfectly clean, because tool does tend to pick up everything. Any little trash, any thread you have on the floor, your tool is going to pick all that up. Also, because I'm only doing a one color tutu, I cut all my 14 yards of pink. If I was doing a multicolored tutu, you have to split those colors in between. So let's say I was doing 2 colors, I would do 7 yards of each color. But then I wouldn't want all my like just one side blue and then one side pink. So those 7 yards, I will split it as well. And I hope I'm making sense. So let's say you're doing 2 colors, and it would have been 14 yards. So I would do 2 yards of pink, 2 yards of blue, 2 yards of pink, 2 yards of blue. So it could be alternating colors. It all depends on how many colors you're going to be adding. Just alternate your yards between colors, and it's going to be that easy. Don't overthink it. Again, I'm doing 14 yards of pink tutu. So now I'm done cutting my 14 yards. My next step is to grab all my tulle and start folding it. So this was the long way that I cut it. Now I'm going to start folding it because we need to start, we're going to cut the length of your tutu, okay? So for a 4T, I roughly want it around 10 yards of length. So that means I will need my tutu to cut it double of that. So if I wanted 10 inches in length, I would like to cut my tulle 20 inches. It's going to be half of what you want the length to be. Now when you're folding your tulle, try to be as perfect as you can. Don't worry about it if you don't do it as perfect, because remember, we are going to be trimming away for the length. So you can be as perfect as you want, but sometimes depending on how they roll the tulle on the bolt, is not going to be exact. Just try your best to keep on rolling as best as you can, because we are going to be trimming anyways from both sides. Again, like I said, this is going to be a 4T tutu, and I want it to be 10 inches in length. So I'm going to cut my length to be 20 inches. And I'm going to keep on rolling, and then I'll be right back. All right, I'm done folding, and this is this way. Now I'm going to turn it this way because I want to trim my length, guys. So I'm going to have my daughter hold it at the 1 inch mark there, and I'm going to trim off from both sides, making it 20 inches, because remember, I want my tulle to, my skirt to finish at 10 inches. And I'm actually going to come from here. This is the, you gotta, I'm gonna turn this around because I want to start from the 1. Hold it right there, and I'm going to trim. Right now the length is 30 inches, so I'm just gonna cut maybe around 25 on here, and then the rest over there, or maybe on 26 right here. And then I just follow the lines on my cutting mat, and I cut. And I cut from both sides to make sure that both sides are straight and even. So I cut some off of this side. I will turn it around back to my 1 inch. And then here I'm going to cut off the remainder, which again, I want it to be at the 20 inch mark. So when they fold their skirt, or it could be 40, I'm going to do it at the 20 inches right here. Okay, so then this, you're just going to throw it in the trash. Now I have 14 yards of tulle, the long way, and I have 20 inches in length. When I fold this in half, it's going to be a 10-inch tulle skirt. Now your next step is going to be, we're going to start sewing your ribbon. So where are you going to sew your ribbon as? You're going to sew it right here on the long way, all the way to 14 yards of ribbon. You're going to sew on this side. So when you start opening your tulle, you're going to have 2 pieces of tulle. So when you open it, you're going to have 2 pieces. Some people just start sewing on one and break this apart. I like my tulle to be fluffy and thick, so I leave these 2 pieces together. So when this is all and done, they will not even see their underwears or their diaper underneath. I like it. I don't like my tutus to be see-through. So that's why when you open this, you are going to have 2 pieces. Meaning when you fold this in half, when this is done, because you're going to fold this in half like this, you're going to sew ribbon on this, and you're going to sew ribbon here. So when you fold it in half, you're technically going to have 4 pieces of tulle. 2 on here and 2 on this end. But I hope I'm not confusing you. Okay, so what you need to do is, you're going to go and put your matching thread from your ribbon on your sewing machine, okay? So basically, I'll be putting pink thread. I'm going to start sewing alongside of here, all 14 yards. And then when I'm done there, I'm gonna sew 14 yards on here. Now, some people, to save ribbon, because remember, if I'm sewing 14 yards of ribbon there and 14 yards of ribbon here, that will be 28 yards of ribbon. Some people, to save on ribbon, they will just fold this in half. And then you're going to have 4 pieces of tulle together, like this. And then you're going to sew this ribbon all on the edge, and then that way you will save on ribbon and you will only sew 14 yards of ribbon, not the full 28. So that depends on you. How much volume do you want in the bottom of your tutu? It will still look nice on only 14 yards because you are saving ribbon, and it's still gonna look fluffy because there's a lot of ribbon. Or you could go the extra mile and be extra like me and do both sides, and that will be 28 yards. Also, that will work if you're using 2 colors of ribbon. You could sew pink ribbon over here, and you could sew blue ribbon on the top, or black and white, whatever you want. Again, this particular customer only wants pink on pink. I'm going to go and put my matching thread on my sewing machine, and then we're going to start sewing, and I'm going to show you how everything is. I'm going to set up everything, okay? Just in case you want to know what kind of sewing machine I have a Singer Fashion Mat 5560. Now again, I am not no professional sewer. I literally just started sewing back in November, so I only been sewing for a couple of months. Again, you're going to put the matching thread on your sewing machine. If you don't know how to use a sewing machine, I recommend you watching several videos on the sewing machine that you have and how to thread it and stuff like that. Again, I'll be using pink thread to match my ribbon, okay? And now if you see this piece there, this piece came with my sewing machine. I'm not sure what this is called. I guess it's so you could staying straight. And this is wonderful because, like I said, I don't know how to sew. So all I have to do is line up my fabric here, and I could continue to sew in straight just by keeping my fabric aligned to this, okay? I don't know if I said it at the beginning, but I'll be using 1.5 or 1.5 size ribbon, and I like to use the satin ribbon. I see it like it's more flowy. I have done it with the girls grain ribbon as well, but I'll be using satin ribbon size 1.5, and then you have to put your ribbon here first. Now, if you're using double-sided ribbon, it doesn't matter. But if you're using like a pattern ribbon, make sure that your pattern is face down. So I'm going to put it here, and now I'm going to align it to here, to my piece at the end, because when I like to sew, I like for my thread to be right at the edge of my ribbon. I don't like to have my tutu showing the ribbon in the middle. I like to sew right here at the edge. So I'm going to align it right here. And also like my sewing machine has like a red line here. So I know that's the beginning where my sewing machine is going to start sewing. I put my foot press down, and then I have my ribbon on the floor. So while it's sewing, it's just going to keep on going through there. Now, grab your tulle. Remember, it's folded. Make sure you have 2 pieces together, and you're going to put it on top of your ribbon. Again, don't traumatize yourself that everything has to be perfect. Everyone does mistakes. Now you're going to place your tulle on the floor. You're going to have your 2 pieces, and you're going to put your tulle, your 2 pieces. This is the long way, 14 yards. Remember, we're going to sew 14 yards. You're going to place your tulle on top of your ribbon. Make sure it's the 2 pieces, guys. You need their 2 pieces. I'm going to place it right here, and I'm going to line it here. Now I am going to start sewing right here. So I'm going to lift this up, bring it there, and make sure it's holding. I'm going to start sewing there, and while you're sewing, you're going to be aligning everything together. So make sure that you're holding your 2 pieces. It's going to be kind of hard because the tulle is pink and my ribbon is pink, but make sure you have your 2 pieces and you're going to be holding it. And I want to sew right here at the edge. Now my daughter is sitting behind me, and what she does is she's going to start cutting the excess tulle from here for me, because I don't like to have all this excess. Remember, I'm going to start sewing right here at the edge, so all this excess tulle is going to be there, which she sits behind me with a pair of scissors and she starts cutting. Now don't forget to lock your stitch, meaning when you start sewing, you're going to go forward and back and forward and back to secure your stitch when you first start. And I'm right at the edge of my ribbon. And while you're sewing, make sure you're putting your two tools together, aligning it with your ribbon, and making sure you try to keep straight. And you're going to continue all the way doing the same process until you're done 14 yards. Okay, so we're almost at the end. When you reach the end of the tulle, don't forget to back stitch to lock your stitch, okay? When you're all the way at the end. Then you're just gonna pull that out. Cut your thread. And then you're going to cut your ribbon right there. And because it is ribbon, don't forget to heat seal it with a lighter. All right, all 14 yards of one side is done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it all my way, all of it, all 14 yards my way. And then it was like this, upside down. This is the part that I sewed, right? So it was upside down like this when I was sewing, right? Focus. It was like this, upside down. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it like this, the right side. This is how it's going to look, the right side. And then this is going to be turned the right side, and I'm going to start sewing on here my ribbon again on this side. So this is going to be facing up. Now I sewed it upside down like this. That's how I was sewing, but now I'm going to put it the right side, and then I'm going to put my ribbon first on the sewing machine and then my tool, and I'm going to start sewing these 14 yards. Okay, same process. Put your ribbon first, design facing down, but like I said, mine is already double faced a satin, so it is gonna be face down no matter what, like both sides are the same. Then you're going to put your tool on the top. Remember, this is the first one that we sewed. It was upside down, then I flipped it the right side, and you're going to put your 2 pieces of tulle. Make sure you grab it, put it on the top, and then you're going to start sewing this whole side. Don't forget to heat seal your ribbon when you first start, and then back stitch right here when you start. On this, I like to hold this side and just hold these 2 pieces of ribbon. Tulle. Sorry guys, it's late at night when I'm recording this. Hold it here, and I'm holding this right here, and I'm holding it so I could try to stay straight, and I will start sewing. Okay, so I'm holding this and making sure that I have all this together, and I'm sewing. Then I'm gonna continue 14 yards. And then again, you do see my daughter in the background because she is cutting off the extra tulle, and that's what she does for me, so I don't have to do it when I'm all done. So again, I'm holding here, and then I'm just sewing. Okay, at the end, don't forget to back stitch to secure it. So sew all the way to the end of your tulle. And you're going to back stitch. Go back and front like 3 times. To secure your stitch. Then you're going to cut your thread. You're going to cut your ribbon, and you're going to heat seal it with a lighter, and then you are done sewing all your ribbon. And now our next step is going to do the little tunnel, the channel, however you want to call it, to put our elastic through. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull all the tulle back to my side. And then here, it's where you're going to decide if you want them to layer right on top of each other, or you want them to be layered like this so you can see 2 of them, or do you want them right like this or like this. It's all up to you. Wherever you decide to put it at, make sure you fold it really good in half. Fix all your tulle. Make sure you have matching thread on your machine for your tulle, because here is where you're going to put your make a tunnel to put your elastic through here. Now, depending on the size of elastic that you're using, that's how big you're gonna make your stuff. I'm going to make mine roughly around 1 inch, the tunnel. I'm going to be using 3/4 elastic, non-roll elastic. I get it mine from Walmart. You could get it from eBay and stuff like that. So again, make sure that you fold your, I'm gonna have mine like this, and then you're going to place it again under your machine. Depending, line it up to where you want it. And then don't forget to back stitch to lock your stitch when you first start. Okay, so make sure while you're sewing, you're going to be fixing how you want this to look, and at the same time, you're going to be making sure this is very folded in half. You're going to be holding both sides, and you're going to sew. And while you're sewing, make sure you're fixing everything. So you're fixing this how you want it to look, and also making sure this is folded in half. And you're going to do this all the way through to the end, and at the end, don't forget to back stitch to lock your stitch. Okay, at the end, don't forget to back stitch. And then you are done. You're gonna cut your your thread. And then you could put your sewing machine away and stuff like that, clean up your area, and then we're gonna get ready to put our elastic. Okay, I am going to be using 3/4 non-roll elastic. I usually get it from Walmart or Amazon, like I said. Now, for a 4T little girl, usually their waist is 20 inches, right? So I know a lot of people will cut exactly 20 inches of elastic. Now, me, I don't do that. If their waist is 20 inches, I will cut off 4 inches out of that. So I will cut my elastic 16 inches or 16 and a half, because at the end of the day, this is going to stretch. That's just me personally, and that has been working for me. And I've been making tutus maybe 9 to 10 years now. Well, not ribbon trim tutus, but I've been making regular fluffy tutus, and I always use the elastic. I also have a separate video on how to do a no sew tutu. I'll link it down below, and that's how I always do it. I will take away either 3 to 4 inches away. Again, this is for a 4T. Usually they're sorry if I hear that little bell. That is my new baby cat. Usually for 4T is 20 inches waist, so I'm going to cut this 16 and a half. Okay, now I'm also going to use 2 safety pins. I'm going to put one in one end, and this is going to help me run the elastic through my tunnel. So one there, and then this one, what I always do is I will clip this end somewhere. It could be on your couch, it could be on your pants, somewhere that it doesn't let it go all the way through when you're running the tool. Now I have this table from Walmart, and it has like a little handle right here. So I'm just going to hook it to my table, and then it's going to be like this. See that? Now this end, I'm going to start running it through my tunnel. And then you're just gonna run this all the way to the end. That's why I have this here, so it doesn't let it fall off while I'm doing this. Okay, so I'm gonna go all the way to the end. Okay, we're almost done. And then your next step will be to just get some needle and thread. Now I like to use upholstery thread. I get mine from Walmart. Upholstery thread. Then thread your needle, and then you're going to just overlap these two together and sew them together. All right, you're just gonna overlap them just a little bit, just like this. And then you're just going to sew this, sew it up. Make sure when you first start, you make a knot. And then you're just gonna go up and down, making sure you secure it, okay? Then you're at the end as well, make a knot or run it through. Make sure it's completely secured. That's why I like the upholstery thread, because it is a very, very strong thread. No matter how much you pull this, it is nicely like secured. Okay, once you're done, now you need to fix your tool to go all around the top. Spread it apart to cover all that. Now your next step is to get some hot glue or fabric glue and get your ends, both ends. Grab the ones, both ones in the bottom, and you're going to put a little bit of glue. I'm gonna be using fabric glue. You can get this one at Walmart, Amazon, even your fabric store. And you're gonna grab, this is facing up, just put a little bit of glue. And then you're gonna grab the other end and you're going to like flip it over and glue it together. So it's gonna look like that. Press it until it dries. Now you're gonna grab the top one, do the same thing. Again, if you don't have fabric glue, just use hot glue. I'm gonna grab the other side, flip it over, and align it and hold it till it dries. Okay, once it's dry, again, fix your waist. And now I'm going to show you the final result once I put it on the mannequin, okay? Okay, here is the final result of the tutu. You see it will turn out very, very fluffy. And I'm outside because I usually take my pictures outside. But this is it. And you can find your mannequin on Amazon. I have a link down below. They're very inexpensive. But this is it. It was very easy. I hope you try them out. If you do, feel free to join my Facebook group at Andrina's Creations. Andrina's Creations Crafting Lounge on Facebook. Feel free to join over there so I can see if you tried this tutu out. If you don't follow me yet on Facebook and Instagram, it's also Andrina's Creations. Feel free to subscribe so you get notified when I upload all my other videos. Don't forget to hit the notification bell as well. And if you would like to order any tutus from me, feel free to message me. I would love to create your little girls' tutus. They come out so beautiful and so fluffy. I'm going to turn the phone down so you can see the bottom part of how fluffy they turn out. So full, so beautiful. Okay. Alright, so I'll talk to you guys later. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up and comment down below. Bye bye, guys.